Hello and welcome back to the 15th session of the Walking Dead universe role-playing game by Free League Publishing. Thank you very much for joining me, Hollow Upon Solo Sagas. If you're a return viewer, hello, welcome back. If this is your first time viewing, we have a huge back catalogue of things. Do catch up and welcome. If you are a subscriber, thank you very much for subscribing. It is so appreciated. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider it. The extra number really does help us. If you like what you're seeing, please hit the thumb. And if you have any comments, stick them down below. So, where did we leave it? The survivors had gone south to the Norsemen's headquarters that we'd discovered where it was and found that they are under siege by Faith Reborn. And a whole bunch of zombies as well. There's huge zombie activity in this area, and Faith Reborn is in this area, and they are attacking and keeping the Norse under siege, so the Norse can't go anywhere. The survivors had approached. I'm going to err. I'm not going to cut so many errs out. It takes so long, and I err for thought, and sometimes I don't, sometimes I do. So I'll leave a fair chunk in. So our survivors, Major, Matt, Jack, and Simon and Anne have approached the Norse command and asked for petrol and seeds. In exchange, they will help because they have firearms and they are slightly more trained when it comes to sneaking about than the Norsemen are. I mean, whilst I was editing the last one, I was thinking, why on earth didn't the Norsemen do this themselves? I don't think I thought ahead. But anyway, this is where we are. These are how some storylines on some TV series go, and it's quite peculiar. But anyway, we'll roll with it. So we're now at a point where we know where the Faith Reborn's headquarters are. It's the chapel to the south. I'll show you on the map. So we have known about this rumour down south for ages, and it just wouldn't go away. And so it just so happens that that is where the Faith Reborn's headquarters are. It's the chapel to the south, which is under siege by zombies. We then have the Norse HQ, which is just over here, where the team is at the moment, and this is where we're getting into some skirmishes with Faith Reborn. Faith Reborn has the Norse under siege. So, plan for today is that we will be attempting to do some attacks on Faith Reborn. Maybe we'll do a run to try and acquire. Maybe we'll do a run to try and acquire some more ammunition and more guns to equip the Norsemen to then do an offensive, and we'll just do the run as the bit. We'll then have a cutscene, which would be the attack and Faith Reborn being routed by the Norsemen, and then we will end en masse going down towards Faith Reborn because we need to clear Faith Reborn has started causing all sorts of problems in this area. Destroyed Marsden Park, which was where the main supply depot was that we were doing. Created loads of skirmishes, set sabotage, killed families. We have all this sort of going on, and at the same time up here we know that there is a cure, and Mike Greenman, who is back at our base, our headquarters up at our base with Joey, Mike Greenman is immune to the virus, which he kind of knows but doesn't understand how much he knows. Possibly he worked here and that was got an injection as the rest of the team's got injections. The team is here, the base has fallen, the laboratory has fallen, but the lab team is around this area and the cure is hidden here. But at the moment, we have us attempting to rebel Faith Reborn. So, some questions I wanted to ask before we go through the solo procedure was, now we have Jack, who is a they. Jack is attempting to train the Norsemen in firearms to get the Norsemen up to speed so as they can fight with firearms. So whilst the team were out gathering information, doing recon, we would have Jack doing that. So we would want some sort of cutscene to show Jack training. Now, I wondered if the Norsemen would cause Jack problems. So I think I'm going to make a role for Jack as a trainer of firearms, and then a role for Jack who is trained in force. And if Jack gets a hit in both, then they treat Jack with respect because of the skills Jack has. So range combat, Jack is an expert, which means Jack gets 4 dice on top of the base 4 dice that all NPCs get to roll. So an 8 dice roll, we get 1 hit. So Jack successfully trains the Norseman and the Norseman listen to the training. Now, does anyone try and push Jack about or cause problems? For that, Jack gets the 4 base dice and Jack is trained in force, which gives 1 dice. So then we have the equivalency of we need a hit. And we get hit. So no one decides to mess around with Jack. Jack is muscular, Jack shows talent, Jack shows skill. No one is playing around with Jack. No one cares who Jack is and whom Jack decides to be. They just treat Jack as someone who is on their side and helping them. Jack's fine. Now, Matt on the other hand, sorry, not Mike, not you, Mike, Matt. Matt on the other hand, Matt Key, who's the person who wrote the solo rules, just so happens. Matt Key ran away from the Norse in the skirmishes, holed up with the Haven, didn't tell them who he was. Now we're back at the Norse. Matt, who thought he was going to be all fine and dandy, what happens to Matt K? Matt K, not Key. Matt K, mechanic, ex-Norse. Now Matt has got close combat as trained, so maybe someone is going to start trying to have a go at Matt and see if Matt fights back. Now Matt then has 5. If Matt gets a hit, then he got into some hand-to-hand and he won it over and they're fine. It's all cool. If he doesn't get a hit, then Matt may not be easy to find when we get back and we try doing stuff because Matt may have disappeared. No, so Matt got into a fight. Matt's a bit bloody and bruised, but he defeated the person who tried to basically badmouth him and say that he ran. So someone accused Matt of being a coward and running. Matt took up his wrench and made sure that bloke never mentioned anything again, and everyone else was all, fair enough, Matt, it is what it is. So we've got all that sorted, so now that was all right. I just wondered how that was going to go. So let's start the solo procedures and we'll work through and then we'll do what our run is. So to start off with, we've got how much time has elapsed since your last session? No time at all, or maybe a day, maybe a day's worth of training and a day's worth of planning and a day, so a day. So a day has passed. This then allows some of the Norse to tell us about an armory which is close by. We'll pick somewhere on the map that the armory is that isn't that far away, and we will then go to there. I know what I'll do. I'll do the D8 thing, where we'll roll a D8 and then we'll roll a D8 and it's wherever that is, and then we'll go do that. So clocks. Next we'll do clocks, which is on our challenge sheet. We have the Norse HQ located in Liverpool. That we know about, so that has already gone. Other NPC swarm, I think that is the chapel. So the chapel, let's roll for the chapel anyway. Nope, so the chapel doesn't progress. We've got the canned goods warehouse, which I've remembered where we found that out. That was a clue that came from the Crimson Brotherhood's outpost, which was the canned goods factory. That's on 2, that doesn't progress. The cure is on 1 at the moment. The cure progresses by 1. The lab team, which is the military lab team, that's on 5 at the moment. That doesn't progress. The swarm at St Ives, that's on 3 at the moment. 3, that doesn't progress. So we are 1 down, but we're going to call this one rumour, which is the ammo dump. So we're going to say that there's an ammo dump and we know where it is. So I'm not going to bother rolling for a rumour. This is a rumour that the Norse is telling us, which is going to be part of this challenge. So that's what the challenge is going to be. Then we have the Norse that we already know is gone. And then we have Faith Reborn, which is on 5 at the moment. 4, so the Faith Reborn doesn't trigger off. If Faith Reborn would trigger off, then we would make them a major component of this bit. But I think Faith Reborn is moving into the next season. So, clock's done. Create a new rumour. We've got that. The rumour is that there's an ammo dump. And the ammo dump is... So we are... The ammo dump in the same place. That's going to be so weird. We are here. And so our first dice roll is a 2. So I think I normally start here. 1, 2. And then a second one is 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here. Somewhere in here, we have an ammo dump. So we need to get into the ammo dump, get it, and then come back to be successful. So our run, hold on, update our Havens projects. So that was our ammo dump with the ammo dump queue. Update our Havens projects. We've got planting crops where it's got a needs a workforce of 4. We've got the 2 people doing it. We can't do the petrol bombs because the Molotovs rather, because we don't have petrol. So we've got planting crops. We don't really have seeds. So what they're doing is they're still tilling the earth, and I'll take that to 5 weeks. Oh no, they've only been going a day. They've not done a week's worth of work on it. So it's still got 6 weeks worth of work doing. So the team, so Joey and Mike back at the Haven are still working on trying to till the soil during the day, keeping watch, keeping an eye out for walkers or any marauders. Work out our challenge. So our challenge is we're going to attempt to get to the ammo dump. So we will take us, all of us, and maybe a couple of the Norse. So the whole team and 2 Norse. So the Norse are sending a couple, or maybe 4 Norse. Maybe there's 4 Norsemen are coming with us, and they're sending their trucks with us, so as we can get some ammunition back to be able to then clear this siege, and then in the end roll on and clear out. So we will move into the area, which is our first thing we do when we're running a solo traveling. We will then do a exploring the base where the ammunition will be kept. So first off, we've got our travel, which is traveling to we've got run. Entering a new sector, we would do a scouting roll. We have the Major, who is trained at scouting. Then we have Simon, who has 2 for scouting. Then we have 4, and we have 2 as we have a map. We will clear Simon's stress down to 0. Simon had 6 experience points left over. I'm not going to do a Dearly Departed because I've had an awful week at work and I can't deal with the psychic damage. I think we might just give him 4 experience points for what happened last session. And he did a lot. There was range combat involved. Stealth was involved, scouting was involved. I'm going to give him +1 to scouting, give him a 3 on scouting now. I don't know what max you can get to, probably 4. So he's got a 3 on scouting because he's been, I think that's justifiable with Simon. Simon has been going all over the map, mainly on his own, trying to work out where he is and how he's getting places. So a 3 on scouting seems to work out, which gives them full dice with him and the Major. This is moving into the area where the ammo dump is. 3 hits. So moving into that area where the ammo dump is, they suss out the lay of the land. There's a couple of crashed cars in amongst the traffic, but they avoid those. Now, I wonder where in that sector, maybe there's like Liverpool, Bankstown, maybe there's a big gun depot or something. So let's say we've heard rumours that there's a warehousing area somewhere in that area, maybe down near Holsworth or Padstow. There's a depot, and the depot is, there looks like there's some docks type things around there. Maybe there's just a depot somewhere, and it's quite well stocked with ammunition and weapons, and that's where we're going to. So we've scouted the area, we know how to get into the area, we're fine. Now what we now need to do is we now need to try and identify where this would be. So we've got, which is a survival roll because survivor's for scavenging. We've got 1 for the Major, 1 for Simon, and Simon has 3 for wits. I think I rolled 1 too many dice in that last one. So we've got 1 survival, 1 Major, 3 for wits. We don't have anything to help us, so, or maybe someone with it. No, the Norse aren't going to help us. That we are leading this. We're earning our keep basically. So we just need a hit. No. All right. Okay, so we will then, Simon is starting to have a go at the major, and we've got arguments going off because they need to know where this depot might be. They've looked at the maps, they've looked at the lay of the land, they need to find out. Okay, so we've got 2 hits, so they identify where it is, but the major is getting really annoyed with Simon. So if we are in the middle of something, if we have, which we might have, I might make it this area, because this area is really close to their base, to the Faith Reborn's base, and really close to the Norse base, so we can have it that this area is just overrun with walkers, which means that we'll call it a 3, which means that they know we're here. So if we start having a bad situation, then we might have to fight a swarm, and the major might turn on Simon and do for Simon. So major has had enough of Simon, because Simon stepped forward in that discussion with the Norseman's leader, i.e. undoing what the major was trying to do. Anne is really supportive of Simon and really defensive of Simon. The major won't like that. Simon obviously has some leadership qualities. The major won't like that. The major's had enough now of Simon, with Simon having a go at him and getting stressed because they couldn't find where this base is. So though they've identified where it is, the major has had enough of Simon. So we might have something kick off if something bad happens at this point. So we've identified an industrial dock area. I'll stick a picture up there of the industrial dock area. I think that's where it'll be. Of the industrial dock area. I think links go up there, pictures go up there, dice are down there. So I stick a picture up there of the industrial dock area, and what we need to do now is we need to try and scout around through it and find out where the actual warehouse is. Now this place is teeming with the undead. So we are going to attempt to sneak around. So the Norse will park nearby and we will go. So let's say that I think there's 8 of us. Is there 8 or 9 of us? So what we have is we have Anne, Major, Simon, Matt, Jack, 4 Norse. N1, N2, N3, N4. Let's give them some names. Let's use, I was reading, so I'm planning on doing Morkborg after this. So I have the Morkborg book out. So let's have some names. So we've got 6 and 4 is 10. Ed. 7. Samuel. Sammy. Samo. It is Australia. Should be Edo. 7. That's another Sam. So what we'll call is Butch. And then we've got a 10. Hector. So we've got those have come up. They've all, we've got close combat. They are trained in close combat, and we'll give them range combat trained, because these are the ones that Jack did, and then we'll give them force trained as well, because they're all used to pushing people around. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of us. We might stand a chance against a swarm. I really want a swarm to kick off, because then we might actually be able to fight a swarm. Let's make loads of mistakes and kick off the swarm. So we're in this place. We've got they're slowly rolling the car up. We're having to sort of batter. So we're walking ahead of the car, and we're having to batter walkers out of the way as we try and get into this compound. And then we're going to try and find where this is, load it up as fast as possible, and get out. So first off, we'll have us trying to push through into the compound and get our way in. Now, we've got, who's got the best force? I think Jack. Jack is trained in force. I don't think anyone is higher than trained in force. They're all trained in force as well. So we can have one person help us trained in force. We've got 2 force and 3 strength, and we're already on 1 stress because we've had a big massive Barney with the major. So we will say that a bunch of us are outside. We've got 2 of the Norse are driving, though Simon is probably the best driver out of all of them. and we'll have a handful of us. Simon is great with hand-to-hand combat outside. Simon will have probably, he's got a crowbar. He would want to get a sledgehammer back if he can. All right, let me roll Oracle. We're going to lean towards the no, so that means we need to have 2 yeses to get. Was Simon able to get a sledgehammer before setting off? It's complicated, which leans towards a no, so no. So he tried to get a sledgehammer. Probably a lot of these Norse have sledgehammers, so if one of the Norse goes down, he can grab a sledgehammer, but at the moment he hasn't got one. So we're attempting to push through the zombies to get forwards and into this industrial area. We're unable to push through. The zombies, basically, they're a bit too thick. We're attempting to get towards the gates, which have already been smashed down. It's a bit thinner inside the compound, but where, you know, like a shipping crate yard. There's one, I'll put a picture of what's in my head. There's one around the corner on the way to IKEA. Big shipping crate yard is where we're going into, where we know that there's some shipping crates full of gear, or that's what we've been told. We know what colour it is, we know what labels on the side, we know where it should be, but it might not be there. And we can't even get in there at the moment because they're just pushing back. So we're now going to have to re-roll because this is getting more stressful. So Simon is now on 2 stress. Annie started talking to herself. Annie's talking to, what's her sister called? Her sister is called, let's find the name in here. What have we got? Someone who, what was the Kickstarters on the back of? This wasn't Kickstarted, was it? Yes, it was. Oh no, let's choose playtester. One of the playtesters. That's Anne again. Jenny, how about Jenny? Customer support. Jenny from customer support. Jenny or microwave Jenny? You need to know the film The Castle for that. Her sister's called Jenny. So Annie's talking to Jenny. Simon is getting worked up. The Major's getting worked up. But all of that is pushing them through, and they're able to push through the zombies and move into the actual compound. Now they're going to have to start trying to look around and find the exact one. We will call this a mobility. We're going to call this a mobility check. So we've got a 2. Has anyone got training in mobility? Nope. So that's just 2, and then we've got, it's not driving, it's moving around, and then we've got 3 for Simon and 2 for the stress dice. So this is just trying to maneuver around and get to where this shipping crate is. Okay, no, we've got a walker gets triggered off. So we are going to stress. So I think we can re-roll that walker. So stress goes up to 3, as this is really getting tense now, and the walkers are getting in the way, and Simon is attempting to maneuver the whole of everyone to where they need to be. Okay, we've got another walker triggers off. So what we're going to do is with that one, we're going to roll the messing up table, because something goes bad at this point. We will go 62. An issue from the challenge sheet comes into play. So what do we have on the challenge sheet? I mean, the easiest one on the challenge sheet is probably, there are some Faith Reborn here. So there's a small team of Faith Reborn in this area at the same time as we are attempting to clear out this thing. So we'll have a team of Faith Reborn. The Faith Reborn will need 4 hits. So it's just a small team. So half as many as there is of us. We'll need 4 hits to actually catch them. So we're pushing through. So we abstract a lot of the stuff with Walking Dead, which I quite like. So we're pushing through. There are zombies milling around that we're attempting to get through and work it out. I see where we think the crate is, and we start moving towards it. At the same time, we know it's coming from a different angle. There's a team of 4, because we're given 4 health points, 4 hits, and that will do it. 4 of the Faith Reborn are coming up, because we hear the gunfire as they start coming up. They see us, we see them, and there's basically, we initiate and start shooting each other as there's zombies milling in between. The zombies are trying to attack them, the zombies are trying to attack us, and we've got, the whole thing is just going off. If we roll a walker, then the zombies are attacking us. We do not roll for the zombies attacking them. They're fine. We're just attempting to shoot the hell out of them. So we've got, what was it? Expert is 4. Then we've got a 2 for mobility. No, we've got a 1 for range combat. Sorry. Then we have a +3 for our assault rifle, and then we have a 3 for agility, which I'm going to use this red one as well because we won't use the red one. Use the green one because we run out of dice, and then we're on 3 stress. So that is our team opens up on their team as we've got people here also doing melee combat, battering away the walkers as we approach them. So 4 hits and we obliterate them. If we don't get 4 hits, then it's new round. Oh man, nothing at all. All right, so we get shot at, which would be, let's kill one of them. All right, we're gonna kill one of the Norse. Okay, no. We'll be fair. We will roll Oracle. Is it one of the Norse that gets killed? It's complicated. Okay, so what it is we will say one of each of the Norse and our lot gets injured and is basically injured for the rest of this combat. So we have from our side. Oh no, it's D5. So our because it's Simon's. Oh no, Simon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So for Simon, we'll re-roll 6s. We've got 6. Re-roll 6s. 3, 1, 2. It's Simon. Simon is shot, but that's okay because Simon can be shot, which does 2 damage, which puts Simon on battered. Now Simon has unbreakable, so if Simon gets shot again, he can reset himself as to be not broken. So Simon is now battered. He's been shot, and now the Norse, where there's 4 of them. What's that? That's 4, which would be 2. So that's Samo, who is one of the drivers. He, behind the wheel of the car, has been shot, and he is dead. And so Butch will climb into the car, but Butch is not a trained driver. He's not one of the better of the drivers. So that was because I think it's, it doesn't matter. Moving on. So we have, again, I've just confused myself. Oh, right. So now we have a next round. We're trying to move through. We've got a bit closer to each other. All right, excellent. So we've got, what's that? So that's a 1, not a 6. That's a 6. So we've got 2 hits, which will take us to, so some of them have been injured, but we've got a walker. So we will roll on the messing up table. 31. You're lost or someone important is put into danger. A walker attack. Okay, so someone is hit by walker. We are going to make that person make the roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 people standing. 7, which is Butch. So whilst Butch is in the car, some of the walkers, he's not been paying attention, have come to the windscreen and are reaching in and are attempting to pull Butch out. Butch is going to have to make a close combat roll, which is a 1 and a 4. He needs a hit or he has to take a roll on the walker attack table. No. Okay, so a roll on the walker attack table, and we are going to start being as vicious as we can to everyone. Where is that walker attack table? Threat, here it is. Walker attack table, which is D66. Uh, 15. You hold it down and crack its head with a stone, take 1 stress point. So, Butch grabs a crowbar from within, leans out and cracks this thing in the top of the head. He's sweating and screaming as he batters it down to the ground and then gets back into the car and continues to move forwards. That is lucky because some of these on the walker table is dead. So Butch is still okay. We're still moving forwards. We've still got 2 hits. We're trying to maneuver closer to the, let's use maneuverability instead of range combat then. So we're going to try and maneuver closer, which means, and try and outmaneuver them. So which is a 2 for maneuverability, a 3 for agility. We have, who do we have? No, nobody here's got maneuverability. Mike has, he's trained. We've only got one of them, which we'll say was 1, and then we've got Simon's 3 stress. We've got another hit, so we're able to get another hit on them. So they are taking a lot of damage, but we've also got another walker attack, another messing up, which is 26. 26. Break or lose something important. Gear, a hostage. All right, so we will say that Simon's someone's assault rifle on our side, someone's weapon on our side stops working. 7. That's Butch again. All right, so Butch loses his crowbar and loses his. So Butch is unable to help us when it comes to range or close combat. Still got 1 hit. Now we'll switch back to having ranged combat. We will only have Simon do his because otherwise it's, why did we just lose a weapon? So Simon has 1 for his ranged combat, 3 for agility, +3 for the assault rifle, and 3 for his stress dice. So this is abstractly representing all of us shooting at Faith Reborn. We might even knock this up. If we get a walker again, we're going to knock that up. We've got 3 walkers, that definitely gets knocked up. So that gets knocked up and a roll, and we kill the last of Faith Reborn. This moves up to 4. 4 means that there's a swarm coming up. I do believe 4 means a swarm coming up. 4, the walkers are closing on you. Right, so all of this has got them rolled up. They're closing in on us. We are at the shipping crate, but they've all moved into us. They start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 of us. They are going to attack 6, which is Ed. Ed's driving the other car. Ed's not really paying attention. He's starting to scream as he's not really paying proper attention. He gets a 4 and a 1 for close combat, and he's going to attempt to defend himself against this walker. He fails, so he gets a roll on the walker attack table. 65. A walker bites you in the face and eats one of your eyes and your nose. You try to fight it, but you soon bleed to death. So there's a walker leaning into the car, chewing on Ed's face, and Ed is dead. The car, let's see if we can, let's roll, all right, let's roll. Does the car hit any of us? Yes. Okay, so somebody needs to make, let's see, a mobility check. So we need to make a mobility check with a success, plain mobility, 3 stress dice, otherwise someone gets run over by the car. Okay, so the car goes careening off to the side, slowly, ploughing through some of the zombies, and Jess dives to the side as the car smashes into one of the shipping crates, creating a bit of a step up to the shipping crate that we're going to have to get stuff out of. The zombies are now piling in. We now have a swarm to fight. Okay, now we're going to do a proper fight against a proper swarm with a proper number of us doing it properly and see what happens. So we've got a threat level of 4. What we need to now work out is, there's another thing we need. Right, we need the swarm size. So the threat is 4, but what is the size? I reckon the size is big. Swarm size, there's a lot of them. I'm going to be cruel and I'm going to make it 51 to 100 zombies. So swarm size is 4. So if the size is 4 and the threat is 4, then we have to get 8 successes. So all of us, we need to get 8 successes. Now, the threat being at 4 means that we can use force, mobility, and range combat against this swarm. So we're basically backed in, the swarm is there. There's a whole bunch of them that are chewing down on what's left over of Faith Reborn. There's one chewing on Ed inside the truck. Samo, who was in the truck, has been pulled out by Butch. So Butch is in the other truck, and Samo's on the floor being chewed over. The zombies are just slowly moving in on us, making a huge noise as we're attempting to get ourselves situated to start repelling the zombies. We have a threat level of 4, which means we can use force, mobility, range combat. Simon, who is injured, will get himself up onto the bonnet of one of the cars. So Simon is going to get his assault rifle, which would be an FN something or another, because this is Australia. So we have 1 for range combat, we have 3 for the assault rifle, we have 3 for his agility, we have 3 stress dice. Then we'll have Jack is going to get up. Jack is an expert who has 4 dice. And here's our 4 dice. So we need 8 successes to try and get it through. So we're in a round. If we get a total number of successes equal to or greater than the swarm threat, and the swarm size is 3 or lower, you win the fight. So if we get a correct number, so what do we need? So we've got a swarm threat is calculated by adding the swarm size to the current threat level. So the swarm threat, if you get a total number of successes equal to or greater than the swarm threat. I think they need to use different words for this because it gets very confusing. So the swarm size is 4 or lower, you win the fight. If the threat level goes down to as described by the GM depending on the situation of the fight, as long as the swarm size is 3 or less, you only need to win 1 round and end the fight. So our swarm size is 4. So we need to roll if you win the round. That's it. Right, so no, this is how we do this. So first off, all right, I remember now, you get three of us get to go. So it's going to be Simon, Jack, and probably the Major. Yes, because Simon, so Jack first. Jack is an expert at ranged combat. We can use ranged. And then Jack gets 4 dice as well. Jack goes first. Way! Jack gets 3 hits. So we got 3 hits so far. Next, the Major goes with a -2 modifier. Now he also has expert range combat with his silenced pistols, and then gets a 4. So the 4, which is 8, -2 because he's going second, means that we should have 6. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So the Major is opening fire against these zombies as they're leering over. One goes to bite Anne's face off, and the Major steps forward, sticks his pistol in its mouth, nice, and blows its head off. That gives us 5 total. We need 8. So Simon has to get 3 hits with this. So Simon has got a range, so what can we use? We can use force, mobility, or range combat, because it's a threat level of 4. So Simon has well, we might as well use range combat because then we get a +3 bonus. So Simon gets +3 for the assault rifle, +1 for range combat, +3 for agility, and 3 stress dice. But he has gone. Oh no, we didn't need the last 2. So that's because we've got enough characters. We don't get the minus for that one. So the Major shouldn't have got minuses. So he gets no minuses for this roll. This is just it. So what we've got, let me read this to you. It says, once the threat side reaches 3, then the walkers are aware of you, move in. Each round, up to 3 chosen PCs or NPCs in the fight roll for skills and add their number of successes. Each skill used depends on the current threat level. It's only if you've got less than 3 that you get the minus. So the Major didn't get -2 for that. But we're not going to roll. Oh, let's just roll 2. So these are the extra 2 for the Major. Oh, 1 success. Okay, so that means we've got 6 successes. So Simon needs to get 2 successes as he opens fire with his FN. He gets 2 successes. Oh wow, we actually defeated a swarm properly. So in a total for this round, so there's gunfire is going off all over the place, bodies are falling, Anne is fighting, Matt is fighting, Butch has got out of the truck, he's fighting, Hector has gone over and grabbed his sledgehammer, he's fighting, everyone is just fighting. It lasts about 20 minutes, half an hour, and there's bodies all over the place. Now we won that round. If you get a total number of successes equal to or greater than the swarm threat, and the threat size is 3 or lower, you win the fight. Okay, so because we won the round, we will reduce the threat. Okay, so though we... Did anyone roll walkers? I don't think anyone rolled walkers. So we win that round. Nobody won walkers. No one rolled walkers. If you roll a walker, you get attacked. You get a zombie attack. Which means that the threat... Or the size, let's knock the size down. So if the swarm size is 3 all over, so the swarm goes down to 3. So that means we now, this round, we need to make 7 successes. I think this is right, because this is why it's a bit complicated. Like a 1, 2, 3, or an A, B, C, or just like a run sheet of what to do might have been helpful. So I think I'm doing this right. So the size is diminished, so there's less zombies here now, but they're still coming on because they still know we're here. Yes, that's right. Next one, we'll knock that down, which gives us a 6, and then we will do a third round. So we have the same thing again. So we've got Jack, who is trained in the combat with their FN. He's changing mags as quick as possible. The barrel is getting hot, and they're just going to maybe have to switch to their pistol soon. They get 1 hit. Remember, we need 7 for this. Then we have the Major. The Major is also with his pistols. The Major is stepping forward. The Major is doing shots. The Major gets no hits. Okay, so we haven't won this round. And finally, we have Simon. 1, 2, 3. How much did Simon have? Simon had 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 again. And then we have Simon. Simon's not going to get 6 hits, is he? He gets 1 hit. So that gives us 2 hits, which isn't enough. 2 hits. If we lose a round in solo, we lose a round, we roll a d6. A 2. The threat level is increased 1 step. Okay, so our threat goes back to there, which means that we go... So swarm size is still down to 3, but our threat is now 5, which means we go back to an 8, which means we have... we're really starting to push it now. As soon as we roll a walker, this is not going to be good. We have Jack is opening fire again. So we've got 2. Then we've got the Major is starting to sweat and get exhausted. We've got 1, which goes to 3, which means we need 5 from Simon, who still has 8. So Simon, because we've still got our threat level is 5, which we can still use range combat. Come on, Simon. Okay, he's got a walker, so Simon gets attacked. And we've got a 1, which gives us a 4 hits, which means we've got half as much, which means we win 1. But Simon gets attacked by a walker, which means Simon needs a... So if they get a single attack. So Simon has to defend himself. He's got close combat of a 2. He's got a crowbar, which is a 1. He's got a strength, which is a 3. And he has a 3. Stress dice. He needs 1 hit, otherwise he takes a walker attack. Okay, he's got 1 hit. So, the Major could push him into this. I think the next time he fails, the Major's going to throw him to the wolves, as it was. So as one of the zombies comes in, he quickly pulls out his crowbar and sticks it into the walker's head. The walker falls down. Let's make him make a quick mobility check. No stress dice. 2 hits. He manages to get the crowbar out before the walker goes down. That's 8. So we automatically get 1 success. We need to get 8, and if we get 8, then we've beaten them. So we've automatically got 1 because we got 4 hits in the last round. The size is small, but the threat has gone up, so they're really riled up and really angry now. We've got 1 hit, which gives us a total of 2 hits. That's Jack, who puts down a couple of the zombies, reducing the size even more. Then we have the Major, who is just going crazy, defending Anne, 5. So Simon needs to get 3 hits. Okay. So Simon gets 2 hits and a walker, which means that they still haven't got enough, but they will automatically get 1 hit on the next round. Now, hopefully this is fine right now. The major is going to try and shoot Simon. I think the major will try and shoot Simon. Let's make the major try and shoot Simon. So the major has 4 and 4. I think that walker that Simon rolled is the major trying to shoot Simon. And let's see. Okay, Simon is accidentally clipped. And Simon goes down. Now Simon now becomes broken. Now Simon has unbreakable. Once per session, if broken, he can heal to not broken, but he takes a critical. So Simon is shot, taking a critical injury by accident. So a critical injury. So the major has shot Simon. 45. It says crushed intestines. I don't like that. I'm going to roll again. 66. Impaled heart. No, you can't have that. This needs to be something he can survive from, because he's got 52. Ruptured bowel. It's comical, but one more, otherwise he's got ruptured bowel. 61. Severed limb. Simon could lose his left arm. All right, Simon's lost an arm. Simon has lost his left arm. No one knows how, but so at this point it's just crippled. So it's crippled. So it's not off, it's not gone. It's basically, he's pierced the muscle. The muscle has contracted around, so contracted up. So basically, the major has shot into Simon's elbow. I got my blood taken a week ago, and I've still got a bruise from it. Shot through the elbow. It's severed the tendons. The muscle has retracted up into Simon's shoulder. Simon is screaming as his arm goes limp. And Simon is no longer able to use 2 hands, so he can't use a ranged weapon anymore. But I will quickly read up what exactly unbroken means, because I don't think he is broken. Unbreakable. Once per session, when you take the 3rd point of damage and become broken, you immediately stop being broken and regain 1 health point, as if someone had given you first aid. You still take a critical injury. Okay, so he goes back to being battered, so he can still function, but his left arm is out of action and he cannot use his left arm anymore. They are on 1 hit. They still got an 8. It's a 5 and a 3. Okay, I think because we failed that roll, I think I roll on a 2, which means that the threat goes up again. 6, 7, 8, 9. No, I reckon we'll keep it at 8. So last, because we've been doing this. So this will be the last bit. We've been doing this for a bit. So the last attack of the swarm. This is the last go that they're trying to fight the swarm. Otherwise I'm not sure what we're doing. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've got 8, 4 and 8, 8. So this is Jack, who's screaming, somebody help Simon, somebody help Simon. Gets 2 hits, which gives us a total of 3. This is the major, who's saying, Simon, stop getting in my way, get out of my way. So this is the major. Excellent, 3 hits. Giving them 6 hits, which means whoever goes next just needs to make 2 hits and they've defeated the swarm. So who are we going to put? Simon can't do it. Who have we got? What can they use? We've got a 5. False, close combat, range combat. So they can use close combat. So Anne could give it a go. Or we've got any of the Norse. So basically we've got, whoever it is, has got 1 for training and 4 for their base, and they need to get 2 hits. Oh, come on. Oop. Okay, so that's 1 hit. I'm going to go get that die. Oh no, I'll just roll this one. Ready? No. All right, I'm going to give it to them anyway. I know we didn't do it. I'm going to give it to them. I'm going to go get that dice. All right, it went over there. I didn't see it. It did actually roll a hit, but it was on the floor. I know I rolled 1 here and it didn't roll a hit, but the one over there did actually honestly roll a hit. It was over there, I didn't see it, but it did roll a hit on the floor. I'm going to count it I don't know, I'm going to count it because otherwise we're going to have to do another round. It did roll a hit though, which is the last 2 hits they need. So, brushing over that. The swarm is dissipated. So we will say that the swarm size drops, even though the swarm still knows they're there. So what is a 5 on the old swarm threat? They are arm's length, right? So that's fair dues because they were basically in their face at this point. So they've all retreated back into the storage crate. How long are we going for? An hour. Okay, so this is going to be a long one. So they've retreated back into the storage crate, and what we're going to do is we're going to give them a roll. So Simon is injured and is in a lot of pain. So they need to get Simon back because his left arm is now crippled. We'll look up to see how long that takes to heal. Simon is crippled. Everybody's reloading. Ed and Samo died. Butch is still in the car. Hector was out of the car. So Hector is up. Butch has rolled up the windscreen. And they're going to attempt to dissipate. Now what can they try and do? We could give them, so we'll take the threat size down. So the threat size goes down to 2. If we take the threat size down to 2, that gives them 7. We could give them one more go at trying to defeat a 7. Or maybe we'll just drop it, we can drop it all the way down, and so there's only stragglers, okay? So we're dropping the size down to 0. So the size is down to 0, so the threat is there. So there are stragglers, they're around, but they're no longer a swarm because we've dissipated the swarm, but they're all agitated. So anytime we try and do anything, any walker is then an attack from one of the walkers. We are going to attempt to do 2 things. We're going to make a mobility check, and then we're going to make a survival check. And that is to load up the truck and then get out. Simon cannot do any of this. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we will have, nobody has mobility. So we'll give somebody, just 4. So this is mobility. No, first is the survival where we have training for survival. 2 hits, right. So we've loaded up the trucks. Now we've got to try and get the trucks out without getting any damage, a walker attack by anyone. Simon is no good to us. Nobody else has as a driver. Both of the drivers got killed. So we've got people who aren't actually drivers. No, okay. So we are struggling at trying to get out of the area and the walkers are attacking us. So we will do a roll on the messing up table. 43. Even though we didn't mess up, technically we did because they can't. 43. An NPC is offended or you're distressed or afraid. Okay, so in the shouting, Butch is getting really annoyed with Matt, and we are going to roll to leaning towards yes. Does Butch attack Matt? Complicated, which means yes. So I'm going to roll a 4 and a 1. If we get a hit, Butch stabs Matt. Yes. Okay, so a fight kicks off inside the car, inside the truck, which is Butch and Matt. Matt gets stabbed. Matt is now bleeding. The Major will now start to get agged up, and is the Major going to kill Butch? The Major has got, all right, so the Major is on that. The Major is going to shoot Butch. No, the Major misses Butch, but that shot puts Butch to his right mind, and Butch is going to sort himself out. Matt is bleeding, and Matt might die. So Matt might die. They're all going through. Let's see if they can actually do a mobility roll and get back to where they're coming from. Yes, 2 hits. All right. So they end up back at the base. Simon's got a crippled arm. Matt is bleeding to death. 2 of the Norse are dead, but they do have all the ammunition that they need. We will then have Matt. Matt is then possibly out. and I think we're going to have to do another session, aren't we, to find out what happens at the end. Or we could just leave it on that. That's like a cliffhanger at the end. So end of season, we've got Matt bleeding to death. We've got Simon, who's got a crippled arm, and we've got them just about to repel Faith Reborn and head down towards the... Yeah. All right, yeah, let's leave it there. That's a cliffhanger. That's a cliffhanger to come into season 2. Let's find out what happens afterwards. What is going to happen when they get back to the base, I think. I'm sure a series would end like that, wouldn't it? It makes you come back for the next series. So, that's where we're ending. They've returned back to the Norse's base. There is blood all over both vehicles. The Norse are shocked. We don't know how the boss of the Norse... Okay, I need to leave. If this is it, we need to... So, Matt is bleeding. Simon's crippled. 2 Norse dead. But they have the ammo and weapons. Now they need to repel the siege and head to Faith Reborn. Okay, that is what we'll need to deal with in season 2 of the Walking Dead universe role-playing game. That's it for now. It's been going on quite a long time. Thank you very much for watching. If you watched till the end, thank you very much indeed. I shall see you for another game. I'm going to do Pirate Borg next week. But for now, The Walking Dead, we will need to leave Simon and the crew and find out what happens to them next time. Thank you very much. I've enjoyed this, though it got very dark. Let's see what happens in season 2. See ya.